wasn't anybody being terrorist or anything. It's just simple stupidity, carelessness. People don't care. Uh, is just to me horrible. And unfortunately, they suffered for it.
Thank you, Marty. Ellen.
Well, I'd like to put behind my dogs escaping my yard and running through the neighborhood this week. They did come home.
Good.
That could spend Shabbos, you can relax with them. Alan Berlin.
Oh, got it now. I'd like to wish everybody a good Shabbos and say that it's good to see you all here and healthy, and to acknowledge the fact that we're 1 week closer into the pandemic.
How about Vicky? Unmute yourself.
Hi, I'd like to put behind, I'm Vicky, the fear over COVID, because, you know, somebody gives you a hug and you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to hug. So just the fear around COVID.
Now, that would be nice to get to put aside for a little bit. Thank you. Let's see who I haven't called yet. I think I have, oh, Jack and Lily. I forgot to call you.
Okay. I just want to say, I want to put behind and bustle. Whenever I go shopping, there's always somebody arguing about a mask. They don't want to wear it, and the store doesn't let them in the store. And there's always all these angry people for no reason because they don't want to follow the rules. And I just want to put that behind and enjoy the shopping. Tell them what you want to put behind from the week.
Oh, what I want to put behind. Maybe the heat a little bit to have a nice food Shabbat.
Good Shabbos, Lily.
The Shabbat to everybody.
And Lily, I want to hear, by the way, and you can work on this, I want to hear how many Shabboses you've had in your life.
How many Shabbos?
You may have to do some computations.
I don't know, but I remember way back even when I was a child, and I like to look at the candles. But now there's something wrong with the candles. They are out in like 10 minutes. And
they only last.
I don't know what made. It doesn't last maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, it used to last 2 or 3 hours.
When you were a child,
now.
it lasted half an hour, right? There were better candles back then.
They had better candles back then. They lasted
I
longer.
think so, yeah. And I was able to see them. That's it.
How about Ben? Thank you, Lily. You know, Ben keeps going in and out. Is Ben there? Ben, you need to fix your system because every time you join me for something, you are in and out. So I'm going to turn to Melissa. Are you there, Ben? You have to unmute yourself, but I'm going to turn Melissa, unmute yourself.
Keep going. Yes, my name is Ben Kessner. The thing I'm going to leave behind is my shingles shot because the first time I got the shot, I was sick, and the second, it's a two-part vaccine. I got sick.
Okay. May you not have to feel or think about that. All right, I think we got everybody.
I don't want shingles.
Oh, there goes Ben. Yeah, there's something wrong with his system that he comes in and out. So he's like a star, he twinkles. Okay, so let's begin. Begin services. We did Yadid Nefesh. I hope that you're all able to leave behind the things you mentioned and to have 25 hours of rest and renewal, and this will hopefully begin that experience. I'm going to turn now, do a little abridging and go to page, to the 6th Psalm on page 21. 21 in the Siddur. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Eli, havu l'Adonai kavod ba'oz, havu l'Adonai kavod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai b'hadra kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim. Adonai, Adonai, Almayim Rabim, Kol Adonai, Bakol Koach, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai Soer Arazim, Yeshaber Adonai et Arze Halvanon. Yarkiden kemo egel Livanon Mesirion. Kemo venre ehemim. Kol Adonai chosev lavot hesh. Kol Adonai yachil midbar. Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh. Yachol ayolo yechsof yarot uheichalo kulo omer kavod Adonai Adonai lemabul yahashav v'yeshef Adonai lemabul yashav Shev Adonai Melech Leolam Adonai Oz Leomo Yitain Adonai Yevaharech et Amo Vashalom. Let us go skip pages and we'll go to Lecha Dodi and we'll I'll do two melodies as I usually do. We'll start with this melody that most of you know. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Diane, will you do number 3, Mikdash? You have to unmute.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mikdash melech ir melucha, kum mitzeim mitoch afecha, rav lach shevet be'emecha bacha, ve'hu ya'amor aleichem la.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bill Hawkeiser, you want to do Hito Uri, the middle one on page 24? Unmute though.
Hitoreri, Ivarech Kumiori, Uri, Shir de Beri, Kivod Adonai Ayolach, Nigla, Lecha Dodi, Adodi lekratala. B'nai Shabbat nekabela. Adodi lekratala. B'nai Shabbat nekabela.
Lo, 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 te voshi velo, lo, lo, ti kalmi, matish tochachi, umatehemi, bach yechesu aniye ami, v'ibneta ir altila, lechadodi likrat kahala, b'nai Shabbat, nekabela, lechadodi likrat kahala, b'nai Shabbat, nekabela. Page 25, the middle stanza. Yaminus ol tiferot sivet Adonai taritzi ayarish ben parsi v'nismecha nagila lechadodi likrat kahala p'nei Shabbat Nikabela. And we rise for the last stanza, facing an open door or facing west. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'sohala toch emunei am segula boi chala lechadodi likrat kaha p'nei Shabbat nikabela rat kahala p'nei Shabbat nikabela. Let's do a little bit of learning, and if you're on page 25, we just did the last stanza. How about, Vicky, why don't you read on the right-hand side, facing the entrance, so we get a little understanding about our custom of facing the entrance as when we do the last stanza of Lachadodi. You see that?
Yes. Facing the entrance, Shabbat has been personified throughout this poem. At this point, it is as if that personification, the bridal queen, enters the synagogue. The congregation turns toward the entrance and bows to greet her. Then, as she moves to the forefront of the synagogue and takes her place on the bima, the congregation turns toward the front and bows as she is enthroned next to the ark. Shabbat has arrived, and the service proceeds with Psalm 92, the song of the day of Shabbat.
A lovely comment is, first of all, just a reminder that the tradition, and this is a recent tradition, it's only 4 centuries since this, actually 5 centuries to the 16th century. That's new in Jewish time scale. And the tradition, the Course of Lachadodi is a Kabbalistic poem that's composed by Shlomo Alkabetz. And he built on the tradition in the Talmud of the rabbis wandering through the fields to greet the Sabbath queen, because we had a tradition of a personification of Shabbat. It's interesting, the personification is feminine, that Shabbat is feminine, and of course, following the symbolic tradition, Israel is masculine, and every Shabbat, Israel and this Shabbat are married. There is a covenant. Shabbat itself is a covenant, but mystics extended it to the image of marriage, and that this chuppah was celebrated at Kabbalat Shabbat, but the older tradition, the Sabbath Queen, meeting the Sabbath Queen, it's too bad though. It's too bad that we can't go out and wander and bring the Sabbath Queen back with us. It's a very lovely tradition that some congregations do if they're living in natural places, places where there's nature and they can do a little walking. Maybe we should walk to Altura Park or something. Anyway, but we do the last stanza. We welcome the Queen, and then I think it's really worth mentioning that we also have this tradition that the Queen actually coming and sitting regally on the bima. So it's not just the Queen enters, like Elijah, who then immediately leaves at the Seder, is that the Sabbath Queen comes and joins us. If we were to imagine that, and even to, if we had a ruler we revered, which is implied to be God, these symbols of God, that our singing would be even louder if we knew that the Queen stays and joins us on the bima, and listens to our songs, just as. And remember, it's another allusion here is that a wedding, Jewish tradition is that we sing, we sing with great energy and passion. Od Yeshama Bar Yehuda Yerushalayim. That's we're in Jerusalem. We hear young people feasting and singing, so that every Shabbat we are renewed. It's like the fountain of youth, that we are renewed because we sing with greater vigor and energy than we do any other time. So I think that's part of what the Kabbalists were building on, was these traditions of the Shabbat as a time of song, Shabbat as a time of rest, Shabbat as a time of joy, and Shabbat, and that the bringing in of the welcoming of the Shabbat Queen was a moment of great expectation and great yearning. So a little bit about our tradition of opening the door and of welcoming the Sabbath Queen. Let's go to the psalm that's actually associated with this part of the service, much older. The psalm itself is much older, but the recitation of it is much older than this Kabbalat Shabbat service that we did. Mizmor Shir, page 27. Mizmor Shir, Shel Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir, Shel Yom HaShabbat. Tov lehodot l'Adonai l'zamer l'shimcha elyon lehagid baboker hastecha v'emunatcha b'leilot ale asur v'alei nave ale kiyom bechinor ki simachtani Adonai b'fo alecha b'maaseh yadecha aranein. Continue now to the next page, to in the middle of where you see the red arrow. Sati katamar yifrach keres balvanon yiskeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzros Eloheinu Yahrihu Od Yenuhuvim B'Seiva T'Shenim V'Rananim Yiyu Nahagi Ki Yashar Adonai Suri Suri V'Lo Avla Tahabo. Let's turn now to page 39B, and we rise for the Baruch Hu. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vahen. Please be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Sovereign of time and peace, space, you completed your work of creation on the seventh day, calling this day from one evening to the next the holy Shabbat, and gave this day of rest in all its holiness to your people Israel, creator of day and night, rolling light before darkness and darkness from light. Umahavir yom, umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai Sivot Shemo. El Chai v'kayam tamid li'imlo chalenu le'alam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai. Mahamari Baravim. Avat Olam. Oh, I wanna share again what I did last week. This beautiful Avat Olam from the Platt brothers, and I didn't realize at the time when I shared this with you that it was Ben Platt and his brothers. Those of you who know, follow Broadway, Ben Platt is a very big star, and he happens to be the first cousin of a very dear friend of mine, and I know that he went to Camp Ramah. He has a very good conservative Jewish education from day school. So this is no ordinary Ahavat Olam, and I'm gonna put it online, share it with you in just a moment. Give me a moment to get it.
Increase your ROI. Increase your ROI and your R&R with email automation from Constant Contact.
Shalom. My name is Hadass.
Okay. All right, it's coming on just a moment.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim.
Rabbi, I just mentioned that Ben Platt just starred in a Netflix series called The Politician, which I highly recommend. 2 seasons.
What is remind me, it slipped out of my mind, the musical that he became a star, which was Aaron Hansen.
Okay.
That's the musical that he starred. But his brothers, I tell you, it's a talented family. So I believe they composed that. So it's a beautiful, beautiful interpretation of Ahavat Olam. So I'm going to start at the Nismach, where they are at Ki Hem Chayenu. Ki Hem Chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvehenege yomam v'layla v'avatcha al teser mimenu le'olamim baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha v'lechecha v'derech u'shoch becha v'kumecha Ukshartam leod al yadecha vayula totafot beinenecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Ayim shamo el tishmu el mitzvotai. Through page 42 at the bottom. Adonai Elohechem Emes. You go to 43b. V'emunah koshevi kiyamta gazarta dibarta v'ikshav vanu v'shamanu zuchor hemdat ach torima Yerashuha. Let's continue on page 44. Malchuta b'ratzon kiblu alechem Moshe u'Miriam v'nei Yisrael lachanu shira b'simcha rabba anu v'yam amru kulam mi chamocha Ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osef ele malchut charav v'necha bokeyam lifnei Moshe ze Elianu v'yamru Adonai yiloch le'olam va'ed V'ne'emar kifada Adonai Yaakov ugaloi miyad chazak mimenu baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamideinu malkeinu l'chaim. Page 45. Ushmor seitenu voinu l'chaim l'shalom mi'ata v'ad olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch atah Adonai Apore sukat shalom. Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. Apore sukat shalom. Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. V'al Yerushalayim. We rise for Vishamru on page 46. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Beini u'b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. V'sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz v'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Let's continue now with the Amidah on the next page on 47. Let's use this prayer to relax us, to find some rest. You can either focus on a particular prayer in the Amidah that you want to not rush through, but to enjoy, or if you are more comfortable chanting the Amidah in its flow from beginning to end, I'll give a couple minutes for the recitation of it till page 52, 47 through 52, and we stand and face east. It's a beautiful reading on page 50. I find it very timely because Nachman of Bratslav, who is one of the great Hasidic rabbis, struggled with depression, and he turned to prayer and actually wrote prayers and wrote incredible stories to relieve himself of the pain. And this is a prayer on gratitude. My God, open my eyes and my heart that I might always merit to see the good in the world and the good that you have bestowed upon me, even as I experience difficulties and am troubled. May no physical ailment or spiritual despair cause me to forget the blessings you have granted me in life. May your love and your compassion ever be before me. And I think may we find this prayer of great meaning too as we navigate this most difficult time, time of fear, a time also of understandable despair and difficulty and trouble. So may Rabbi Nachman's prayer be a source of hope and inspiration. We'll turn now to page 53 for the Me'ain Sheva, the partial repetition. And I'll stand if you wish to stand, or you can enjoy this beautiful passage sitting. Vayechulu hashamayim ve'aretz b'chol tzibaham v'yachal Elohim b'yom hashvi melachto asher asa v'yishbot b'yom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa v'yivarech Elohim et yom hashvi v'yikadesh oto v'yvo Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim lasot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Koneh Shamayim v'Aretz. Magen Avot Bidvaro Mechayeh Metim B'Ma'amaro Ha'el HaKadosh Ein Kamohu Hameniach Li'amo B'Yom Shabbat Kodsho Hivam Ratzah Li'aniach Lachem B'Fanav Navod B'Rafa Fachad V'Nodeh Lishmo B'Chol Yom Tamid Mein HaBrachot El Adon Shalom Mikadesh HaShabbat U'Varech Shavi U'Meiniach B'Kedusha Le'amed Dushnei Oneg Zecher L'Maseh V'Reish. On page 54, Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Ritzei v'mnuchatenu Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha v'tenhelkenu b'toratecha Samchenu b'shuatecha Samchenu mituvecha v'samchenu b'shuatecha v'taher libeinu li'abdecha be'emet v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu v'ahava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha v'yanuchu v'Yisrael Mikadeshei Shemecha Baruch Atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. Kadish Shalem. Yitkara V'Kara Shemei Rabbah. ביומא דברח ירצה וימליך מלכותה וחייכונו יומכונו חיי לכל בישראל בגלה וזמן קריב וימרו אמן. שמי רבא מבורך לעולם לעולמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשא בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דמירם מעלמא ויאמרו אמן. תקבל סלותהון ואבותהון לכל ישראל קדם באבותהון די ושמיא ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen. We rise for the, I don't have a Kiddush cup here, so we'll go right to Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabech ladon hakol, latet gudula yoser breshit, shalo asanu kogoye aratzot velo samanu kimishpachot adama, shalo sam helkenu kahan, v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Noteh Shamayim v'Yosed Haaretz, Moshe v'Yakaro, Shamayim mima'al, Ushchinatu zo begav hei meromim, Hu Eloheinu, Einod Ememalkeinu Efezulato Kakatu Betorato Biatata Yom Ve'ashevota Elevav Ki Adonai Hu Ha-Elohim Bashamayim Mi'amal Bi'aris Mitachad Einod Akatuba Torah Techadana Yimloch Le'elaham Va'ed V'nemar V'haya Adonai Le'melech Al Kol Haaretz Bayom Hahu Yeh Adonai Echad Ushamo Echad. Turn now to the mourner's Kaddish. Please share with me if you're observing a yard site or you're in a period of mourning for a loved one. Share their name.
Leah Kessner, Max Van Hoosey, and Josephine Hayes.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Murray Elowitz.
Murray.
Martin Herman.
Mark Herman. So let us keep in our hearts our loved ones and keep in our hearts and support those who are mourning as we recite the mourner's Kaddish on 58. Yit Kadal.
Amen. Yehei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam U'Almei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpoar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbichata v'nechemata damiran v'yoma v'imru amen. Hey, I am Aleinu Kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Ose Shalom.
Bikrama. Yaseh Shalom. Hallelujah. Call Yisrael. Hebrew. Amen.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's wonderful to have you all together this evening and to share the bringing in of Shabbat, this wonderful, glorious, and great day. I'm going to ask Lily to count all the Shabbats she's experienced and tell us next week. A couple of time for a little bit of announcements, and I actually want to share an idea with you. But first, just check in with Ellen. Are there any announcements you want to make?
Well, I continue to be on Zoom Mondays at noon. You can easily get there from my message.
Great. So you can talk with the president.
Ask me anything you want.
Yep. So note that on Mondays at noon. So great. I want to share with you an idea that we're going to try for the holidays. You know, we couldn't really give out high holiday honors this year. We can't give out aliyot. We can't give out ark openings. We can't give out Hagba Galila. I mean, go down the list. We can't. So I thought, and there's also a problem with honors. I don't know if it happens here. I know in my rabbinate, what I noticed about honors on the holidays is that there was a committee that would give them out, and and it was a way of honoring volunteers and leaders and people who contributed to the shul, but inevitably it would hurt people's feelings if they somehow were omitted, somehow they didn't get the honor they thought they deserved. And of course, the people who didn't contribute to the life of the shul feel neglected too, because they're offered first. So it can be a very political type of thing. So I thought this year, when we really can't even do honors, which may be a blessing in disguise, that we would do a different type of honoring. That is, we invite people to do something in the service where they honor or memorialize a loved one. In other words, you're not coming up for yourself, you're coming up for someone who you want to honor and who you remember. So the choices of honors, of course, are limited. So for the holidays, I'm putting together, of course, English reading, or people who know how to chant a prayer, to chant a number of key prayers, or to blow the shofar, of course, which is a more skilled type of participation, and any sort of and including also turning the paginator, which of course is a nice thing to do to help people find their page. Even though this year we won't be together, you notice in the high holidays is that people always come at different times. Jews never come on time to the service. You notice that? They never come on time for services. I even had people in Seattle come 5 minutes before Kiddush. And that's, so it's so common every shul you go to, unless it's a German Jewish shul. They're always on time. But the yekes. So we don't have, I guess people could use Zoom that way, although Zoom, you always feel you really see who comes in late on Zoom, right? So at least